Hello there, my beautiful Scorpio signs. It's Rachael with Dark Knight Coaching. Today's video is going to be a love reading for you. So I'm going to start doing some love readings kind of scattered about. So if you've been guided to watch this message, I'm happy you're here. You're the first one to do this reading with, this love reading. So I went ahead and meditated on the cards, and when I meditate, I listen to music. Madonna's Frozen has been playing. If you've never heard that song, it's quite a sad love song, basically. So I feel like a lot of you are going through a breakup, because I see a lot of single, feeling left out in the cold, needing to release the past, needing to move forward into the future with grace and poise, and the red string, which is like a soul tie to me, essentially, too. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right in, because there's a lot to tell you, Scorpio. But if something in this video resonates, please hit the like button and subscribe. Everything may not resonate, because it probably is a message not meant for you, but something in here is probably useful, which is why you've been guided to watch it. So the first card I'm going to start off with was the most positive card. It says, "My future is full of light." So if you've been feeling a little lackluster, if you've been feeling like left out in the cold, if you've just been feeling like not so great, your future is promising, even if you don't feel it right now, which I know in your subconscious you definitely don't, because you have the Five of Pentacles in your subconscious energy. That's all about feeling left out in the cold, feeling abandoned, feeling the harshness of love. And love doesn't have to be pain. Some of you might be trapped in limerence, which is sometimes hard for people to discern, depending on childhood traumas and things of that nature. So if you've grown up in a household where it was very one-sided, or if you are dealing with, narcissistic parents, or codependent trauma bonds, those sorts of things, a lot of the times, a lot of us get trapped in these states of limerence and confuse them with love. And I feel like that's probably what you're experiencing at this time, Scorpio. So Spirit really wants you to focus on your priorities. And I really feel like that's yourself at this time, because you can't draw in the light until you really work on the shadow sides of yourself. You have to incorporate the light and the dark in order to find harmony and balance. Otherwise, you think of it like the light is empathy, the dark is narcissism. You need a fine balance of both. Otherwise, you're going to end up as a toxic empath where you get walked all over, or you're going to end up as a narcissist where you use people and have no empathy at all, basically. And you need to just kind of toe the line. And that is kind of like the yin and the yang. It's having this feminine energy, it's having this masculine energy. I'm not saying all masculines are narcissists. Don't take it that way, please. But I'm just saying, all of us house empathy inside of us. All of us house narcissism inside of us. All of us house feminine energy and masculine energy inside of us. It's fluid. And we all have it. And Spirit really wants you to find the harmony of that at the time, and make sure your priorities are in place where you're putting yourself first, your needs first, your values first. Because it says you understand the paramount importance of manifesting love in all situations, and it can only begin with self-love, which for some of us, especially if you're an empath and you're watching this, which is probably why you're watching this, because mostly empaths or mystics watch tarot videos and oracle readings and things of that nature. You might have a hard time taking care of yourself, prioritizing yourself. Maybe no one ever did it for you. No one ever really taught you, because you were so busy serving someone else's needs. And it's almost like you get into this Cinderella mindset where it's not, Beauty and the Beast is all about Stockholm syndrome. Cinderella is all about servitude and almost like a narcissistic codependent bond. And sometimes we grow up, watching these fairy tales, but we're actually living in them. And it's hard to break free from tradition. It's hard to break out of the cycles that you were born into and raised in, the things you only know. But as you get older, that's when accountability comes into play, and you have to really take the reins back on your life. And I feel like that's why Spirit is really asking you to prioritize differently at this time. Now, the next card I have for you is from my Moon Oracle deck. This one is balanced spirituality and practicality. This is balancing that 3D and 5D world, basically, which sometimes can be hard to do when you're in this healing mode. If you've been going through a dark night of the soul, which is basically an ego death, you'll have waves of highs and lows. You have ups and downs, especially with a breakup, or even if you've lost a job or a career path that you thought you were destined for. Sometimes those things are the things that shift us and break us and take us almost to this rock bottom abyss, and then we have to find the light. We have to crawl out of the darkness. Sorry, you can't see that very well. We have to crawl out of the darkness and find the light. It says my future is full of light. Again, I'm just going to remind you there. So your future is full of light once you can do this healing, once you can let go of the past, once you can move forward into this future mindset and shift yourself, because you're shifting timelines is what you're doing essentially. Now, for my archetypes, from the archetypes deck, this is the thread. It's a red thread, and red threads usually symbolize some sort of soulmate, some sort of soul tie, some sort of connection you had with someone. It could have been tied to karmic stuff from a past life, if you believe in past lives. I do believe in past lives. I have, if you're familiar with the Akashic records, there are some people can access those. I am one of those people that can access those. I don't really have control of it, but there are people out there who can access those for other people. So you might want to look into an Akashic reader, but watch out for the hokey ones, because I've seen them around, and I don't. You have to watch out who you're dealing with when it comes to spiritual practices, because a lot of people can be well-intentioned but misleading, I guess. So keep that in mind as well. But I do feel like this coldness, this feeling left out into the cold, this letting go and releasing of a person, or releasing of whatever this situation was, it could be a death. Maybe you're grieving of a lost loved one or something of that nature. That could be what's, shaken you to your core, or made you feel left all alone, Scorpio. And everything happens for a reason. We just don't always see it in the short term, but eventually, over longevity, you will see why it had to happen or why it was meant to be. And sometimes that's just it's just a tough pill to swallow. It just is. Now, this release card is tied to the chakra cards, and this chakra is tied to your crown chakra, which is right above your head, basically. I usually only mention this top 7 chakras just because it's the one people are most familiar with, and it's all the, basically all the colors of the rainbow, and then white at the top or gray at the top. And your crown chakra is your connection to source, to spirit, to oneness, to the ether, to the quantum physic realm, to the 5th dimension. That's kind of how I like to think about it. And if you don't believe in that stuff, it's science. I'm not making it up. It's scientifically proven. I'm pretty sure the government has even released documents saying that there are multiple dimensions. And I'm just talking about the 5th dimension. I'm not even talking about the 11th or the whatever dimension they're on. So keep that in mind. Because it is a real thing, and we are all interconnected through this invisible web of ether, and that's just how it is. We're all connected. Now, during this release process, Spirit really wants you to remain poised. That can be challenging, especially if you're going through some sort of betrayal or deceit. Sometimes that brings out our petty nature. It brings out sometimes the worst in us. Sometimes it brings out the best in us. Spirit is asking that you try to choose the best parts of it. Try to find a silver lining. If, it's kind of, I'm getting that old adage of if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That can be very difficult when you're going through a breakup or divorce, separation, whatever it is. Maybe somebody cheated on you and you're really trying to take the high road or whatever it is. Sometimes that's just in silence, okay? Sometimes you just have to say nothing, because Spirit wants you to be by the book. So in the long term, if you do go into some sort of legal situation, taking the high road, saying nothing, being poised, remaining poised, not being triggered by someone else's actions or words is very important. at this time. So as much as you might want to be reactive, be responsive. That requires mastery of willpower, okay? This isn't an easy thing, like, don't react, just respond. It's hard to do. You have to practice it daily. And, if you have children, you're probably familiar with it. If you don't have children, it might be, a challenge as well. But if you're dealing with coworkers and that sort of thing, you probably typically respond before you react anyways. Most people who cannot control their emotions are the people who end up in jail. That's just a fact of life. Because the people who end up in jail or prison or whatever, they didn't have enough self-control or self-regulation to control their emotions. And chances are, the sad part is, nobody ever taught them. And they never thought to go learn for themselves. But you can do it yourself if you're motivated. If you want to self-reflect, if you're self-aware enough, if you have enough empathy, you can do the inner healing. But it is a choice. It's a decision we all must make. With empaths and narcissists, at some point they went through trauma in their life and they had to choose if they were going to self-reflect or if they were going to almost blame someone else and project their, I don't want to say shortcomings, but unfortunate circumstances. So that is the choice that you're at here as well, with whatever's happening for you right now, Scorpio. So Spirit is really wanting you to go by the book. But you have to prioritize you in a healthy way. So keep that in mind. Now, if you have been seeing cats, if you have a cat, if you're wanting a cat, this is your symbol right now. This is it. I've never pulled this card out of this deck, and I love this deck. I bought it because it was pink and gold, which is kind of silly, but I love pink and I love gold, so it just seemed fitting for me. I think I got it at like TJ Maxx or something, and I have never pulled this card, and I've had this deck for a long time. So it says, let's follow the spirit animal and embark on a profound journey of self-discovery. Now, since you also pulled the balance spirituality and practicality card, I do have to tell you that cats are great spiritual protectors. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, that sounds hokey. Again, I'm going to remind you, you're watching tarot. Everything sounds hokey to a normie. You're probably not a normie if you're watching this. So cats are great spiritual protectors. They sleep 2/3 of their life. So in their sleep, they have their out-of-body experiences and they actually go around and they protect whoever they're designated to protect. So cats also have something called a pineal gland, which is something we have inside of our brains, which is it's a crystal inside of our brain. Make sure you check out my video on that and you can see what that's about and how that can help connect your crown chakra also to spirit, to source. And if you need help with cleansing that, there are a lot of practices you can do to flush your pineal gland, and that will help you connect more quickly and more clearly to your higher self and higher knowledge, higher wisdom that you have housed within you. It's just that crystal acts like a transponder in your brain. So, and it also works for cats and other mammals as well. A lot of vertebrae. Anyways. So the next card I have for you is about your current, let's go your past energy. This is your past energy. You were the Queen of Pentacles. Maybe you feel like you were like calm, cool, collected. You had it all together. And then something came in here in your present energy. This is the Seven of Cups. This is like options. You have a lot of options. Maybe these were options you never even knew you had. Sometimes when we have so many options, we can get into this analysis paralysis sort of vibe. But this doesn't have to mean that. This can also mean like you have opportunities to manifest your hopes, wishes, and desires as well. But your future here is the 10 of Wands. Maybe a lot of you feel trapped. This could be trapped in a job, trapped in a relationship, trapped in a friendship or a family dynamic that doesn't make sense for you anymore. And you just have this baggage that you're carrying, and it's burdensome and it's holding you back. And that's why your subconscious right now is like feeling this like left out in the cold energy. Now, your advice from Spirit is the Ace of Wands. This is about them presenting you with some creative opportunity. This can just be an idea, okay? This isn't like they're going to flop it right in front of you. That's not how it works most of the time, at least not for me. I'm not lucky like that. This is like you'll have an idea that maybe comes out of nowhere, and it's a gift. That's what it is. It's a gift of creativity, of an opportunity that you can take advantage of, or you can leave it behind. That's totally up to you. But I do feel like there is a positive outcome if you do choose to pursue that new venture. It could just be like maybe you've decided to do a gratitude journal. Maybe you've decided to take up get a treadmill and start walking daily. Maybe you've decided to jot down your emotions and turn them into a song or poetry. I don't know. Any of those things. Excuse me. Now, I did pull some cards from my love deck because I wanted to see what the energy is from you, or the energy is from whoever it is you've been dealing with, whoever it is you're releasing at this time. I also just saw 555 on the recording clock, so make sure you check out the 555. That's a very significant number of change. It's also significant of chaos and conflict, but I like to think of it as change because 555 is like a shifting number. It's uncomfortable in stages, but it's letting this new life come in. It's change is just making room, getting the old stuff out of the way and making room for the new. That's what it is. So the love cards I pulled for you, it says, I'm single. I'm single right now. I'm not attached to anyone and not looking to get into a relationship at this time. So again, that could be your energy or that could be their energy, whoever it was you were dealing with. The next card says, let the past go. Can we rewind time and go back to before when we were both broken down by life? Our past holds us back from our future. And again, I feel like that's this regret, this burden, this not wanting to let go of something card. And then the next card is the future. So I daydream about our future together, going on adventures and growing old together. I want it all. Again, this could be your energy. It could be their energy. It could even be like a little bit of the past energy of like, this is what you wanted and maybe it just didn't come to fruition. Or maybe you're trying to start over new with someone and you're trying to release the past. You're trying to let go. Maybe they betrayed you. Maybe they lied to you. Maybe they deceived you and you're really wanting to clear the slate. You want to start over. But Spirit is really saying, like, go by the book. And I feel like by the book means, like, your priorities. What is it you want? How do they make you feel? And make sure you're paying attention to your emotions and your feelings, not how you can please someone else, but how they add to your life. And if someone's not adding value, and I don't mean, like, it doesn't have to be monetary. That's always a nice bonus if it is. But if someone's not adding value to you, if they don't make you feel good, and I'm not saying like euphoric all the time, I'm saying like a friend, comfortable, you know what I mean? So if they don't make you feel that calmness, that peace, that tranquility, and again, it's not going to happen all of the time, but if you feel like you're constantly living in a state of like fight or flight with this person, that's a sign. That's a red flag, and you should be listening to your gut instincts. So that's what I have for you, Scorpio. Hopefully this video helped. Again, if it did, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps my channel to grow, and I greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in a one-on-one coaching session, please feel free to reach out to me. Or if you're interested in a personalized tarot reading or an oracle reading, I can pull all of the cards, and I can do that for you as well. But I wish you luck, and I will see you next time.